Hello and welcome back to the channel. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be doing a continuation of a dress of how to sew and drape a corset gown. So if it's your first time viewing my channel, please hit on the subscribe button. Let's dive right into today's video. So in our last video, we actually stopped where we were draping this particular pattern. So this is a continuation of the video. So in our last video, we stopped at this part where we were actually draping the side or the back of the dress. So I'm going to use my needle to go ahead to gather it at the back, and when you're also gathering it, make sure that what you have is enough for your client or the person that is wearing the dress to pass the hand through. So it's best to drape the dress actually when the person is wearing it on, or you can use a mannequin, but the mannequin I have here is a little bigger than me, so I went ahead to do little adjustments on the dress after I put on the dress. So if you're doing it for someone, it is more easier for you to do. So after that, we'll go ahead to trim out the excess we have at the back. Now while we were draping it, we noticed that at the upper part of this dress, what we have at the thumbnail actually started at the shoulder, so I went ahead to move the mesh to the upper part. Now we are going to go ahead to trim out the excess, and we are going to hand tack this dress. Before hand tacking it, we are going to go ahead to trim off the excess we have. So while trimming it off, you're going to leave about ½ inch at that point, because you're going to fold it in and you're going to hand stitch it with your needle and thread. So you want to make sure you're using the same color of thread with the lace that you're going to drape, or the material that you're going to drape on top. And after that, you're going to also cut out this other side and leaving out about ½ inch. So here is the bead I have at home, and which I showed in our last video. So I'll just share with you how to bead it on the dress. But for my own dress, I won't be beading it because the color I have already is too colorful, and my dress has a lot of stone at the lower part. So I'll just be wearing my dress that way. And before you start beading or start placing your stones, you're going to draw out your line. So now we're going to go ahead to hand tack our dress. So you're going to start from the back, and you're going to start hand stitching it with the same color of thread. So you can use a beading needle, you can use your ordinary needle, it doesn't really matter at this point. But when you're stitching at the mesh part, it is best to use a beading needle so that you don't create opening at the mesh. So I'm going to continue stitching it till I get to the upper part. And while you're stitching it, make sure that the stitch in front is very small to make it invisible, because you don't want to start having threads that are showing very well on your pattern, in case you don't want to attach stones or bead on top of your dress, so that your dress won't be too tacky. So I'm going to keep stitching till I get to the upper part before we get to the mesh, because if you notice what we have at the thumbnail, you notice the draping is not up to the neckline of the dress at the center. So I'm going to keep stitching till I get to the end. And after I'm done stitching to the end, I'm going to knot it at the back so that you won't have any invisible thread or knotting in front of your dress. So after tacking, this is what I have. Now we are going to hand tack on the side. So this side, you're going to stitch on the sides of your cup and going up to the yoke of the dress by the side, and you're going to take it up a little to create that gathers that you have there. So just like we stitched at the center, we're going to go ahead and start stitching. But before I stitch, I'm going to pin it up a little to create that effect I have at that point. So after I'm done hand stitching on this part, I will also repeat the same process at the other side of this dress, which is the other side of the cup. You're going to also hand stitch it. The reason why you're hand stitching it is just for the mesh to stick or to stay on the dress without moving while you're wearing it. So you're going to make an invisible tacking. So I've gone ahead to tack the both sides and I've finished one side. So I'll be sharing with you or showing you how to hand tack the back side so that it will not be looking too tacky. So now to hand stitch this part, what you're going to do is that joining at your shoulder, the joining you have at your shoulder part, you're going to run like few stitches or few hand stitching on that part, because if you notice on the shoulder of this dress there was a draping. So in order for the draping to stick on the dress, you're going to go ahead to hand tack it. So when you want to hand tack, you're going to start from the back, and the stitch in front, make sure that it's very tiny, and you're going to stitch about 2 or 3 or 4, create little stitch there just to hold it down. So when I'm done hand tacking, the next step I'm going to take is to go over and stitch the back. So now it is time to stitch the back, and we notice we have like little ½ inch at that point. So what you do is you're going to fold it in and you're going to start stitching from the back this way, and make sure you knot your thread. And as you can see, I'm using the same color of thread, and the needle I'm working with is a beading needle so that I don't create too much opening on my mesh. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch it. So while stitching it, the stitching might not be visible because I'm using the same color of thread, but the stitch in front of the mesh should be very tiny in a way that it won't be that visible. So I'm going to go ahead and pleat in all those parts that I cut out with my scissors. I'm going to go ahead to fold it in, and I'm going to top stitch on it. So while top stitching, look at where the mesh is at the back of my dress. It is almost close to the neckline. So you're going to continue following this process, push it in and hand tack it till you get to the end. So for me, hand stitching is easier and better for this process than putting it on the sewing machine to stitch down. It might be easier for you to work with this way. So I'm going to continue doing this till I get to the end of the dress, and after that I'm going to show you the end results that I have. So after I'm done hand stitching it, this is what I have at this point. So now, for those that want to create a design on this, you're going to go ahead to mark it out. Whether you want to use a flat bottom bead, a crystal bead, whatever design that you want to use, or an applique, you just have to know the area that you want to place it. So for me, I'm going to put on my dress this way without any stone or design. But for those that want to bead, I'm just going to create a little design on this dress. So first, I'm going to go ahead to knot my thread. So I'm using this red thread, but I'm going to still take it out. So if you're beading the part that has an illusion net, it's best to use your fishing line or invisible thread. So now I'm going to pass it the beading needle through, and I'll pass my bead. After passing that, I'm going to go ahead to secure it on the mesh. So after I'm done securing it, I'm going to go ahead to pass another bead through it. So you can go ahead and pass 2 or 3 beads, and after I'm done passing that, I'm going to go ahead to secure it on the mesh this way. And this is what I have on this part. So after that, I'm just going to secure it back on the mesh so that it's not going to move, and move it back to the bead. So to see a proper video of how to bead a dress, so I have one on my channel. You can just go ahead and check it out. So I'll pass another bead, and I will be securing it on my mesh, that is passing my bead down to the mesh and bringing it out again. So after that, I'm just going to add another one just to get the design I want. So this is what I'll be doing, and I'll go ahead to create a design at the neckline. But just like I said, my dress has a lot of design already, and it's too colorful. The color already is too colorful, so I don't want to have much designs on it. I'll wear mine without a design or an applique. So keep watching to the end of this video, and if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit on the subscribe button. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave your comment at the comment section if you have any question regarding this video or any question you want to ask at all. So after creating this beading pattern on it, this is what I have at this point. You can go ahead and create as much as you like. So I'll also create at the center just to show you. So I went ahead to knot it, and I'm going to cut it out. So after doing this, we're going to go ahead to continue creating another pattern on the center. So this is just to illustrate how to bead a dress, but I have a video on actually how to do that. So first, I went ahead to pass my thread underneath the mesh, and I passed my bead. So now I'll be passing more beads to it. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, please, I have a video on how to bead a dress, so you can go ahead to check that out. I'll go ahead and pass as many, and then I will secure it on the mesh, that is on the skin mesh, and I'll pass it through. So after passing it, I'm going to take it out, and I'll go back and pass the thread through the hole I have on the bead, and I will secure it by the side of the mesh. So just like I said, for my dress, I won't be adding more designs on it because my dress is already colorful. But if you want to go ahead and bead your dress, do that, or add stones to your dress just like we have and at the thumbnail. So with that, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and join us in our next video. Thanks.